The news this morning, Anambra State government monitors ongoing WAEC examination as justice stakeholders brainstorm on effective utilization of plea bargaining. Federal government introduces sales of mandatory e-tags at airports as thunderstorm kill 4 in Houston, Texas. Hello, beautiful morning to you and welcome to Breakfast News at 8. I am David Okpokwasile. Before the news in detail, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's continue to give him maximum support for the tasks ahead. The Anambra State Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chumude, has led a team of education stakeholders to monitor the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate examination going on in schools in the state. English language was taken in all the WAEC accredited centers in the state under various monitoring. Speaking during the exercise, Commissioner Chumude said the Ministry of Education embarked on the monitoring exercise to ensure the maintenance of credible conduct of examination for which Anambra State has been reputed for over the years. Professor Chumude stated examinations in Anambra State must be devoid of malpractice in line with Governor Chukwuma Soludo's declared war against fraudulent activities. To ensure effective utilization of plea bargaining in Anambra criminal justice delivery system and drastic reduction of human rights abuses in police statement-taking rooms, stakeholders in the justice sector, including staff of the Department of Public Prosecution, DPP, Anambra State Ministry of Justice, and heads of different police units have held a one-day brainstorming session in Awka. Plea bargaining, which is provided for in the Anambra Criminal Justice Law, as amended, is a situation where a person charged with higher offense plea bargains for a lesser one. The application for plea bargaining is often considered by a committee in the Ministry of Justice and recommendations made to the Attorney General of the state, who gives final approval. Our judiciary correspondent, Joseph Ebocha, filed the report.
Speaking on the topic tagged Meeting with Justice Stakeholders on the Roles of Various Institutions in Ensuring the Effectiveness of Plea Bargaining and Statement-Taking Room, STR, the Anambra State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Professor Silva Ifemeje, announced that the meeting agreed with the remand procedures as provided in the current Anambra Criminal Justice Law are creating a lot of administrative bottlenecks because suspects are not remanded in prison custody expeditiously, leading to congestion in police detection rooms. The meeting, according to Professor Ifemeje, therefore resolved to take further steps to ensure that remand cases are expeditiously dispensed with, so suspects are not made to stay more than 24 hours in police custody. Noting that expeditious dispensation of justice is in line with the manifesto promise of Governor Chukwuma Soludo, the Justice Commissioner explained that the plea bargaining is a veritable tool in the hands of justice stakeholders to achieve this objective, adding that the gains include gradual decongestion of correctional service centers. Professor Ifemeje, who thanked the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption (ROLAC) for its roles in assisting justice delivery system, among other interventions in Anambra, said the state is lucky to be among beneficiaries of such program.
The justice stakeholders have converged today to brainstorm on how we can ensure the effectiveness of plea bargaining in Anambra State. As you all know, plea bargaining is a veritable tool in the hands of justice stakeholders to ensure that there's expeditious dispensation of justice in line with Mr. Governor's manifesto promise to the Anambra.
Contributing, the Anambra State Coordinator of the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption (ROLAC) program, Mrs. Josephine Ona, said measures discussed at the meeting will surely expand this justice delivery system in Anambra State. She said that ROLAC is committed to improving criminal justice delivery in the state by supporting the enhancement of performances of relevant institutions in order to be able to deliver effective and efficient criminal justice.
We are looking at enhancing the performance of institutions in hope to be able to deliver effective and efficient criminal justice.
The Anambra are hereby informed that the Nigerian Army has commenced online registration for 87 regular recruits intake recruitment exercise for trades and non-trades men and women from 3rd May 2024 to 7 June 2024. According to a statement by the Directorate of Army Recruitment, Resettlement and Reserve, Brigadier General Chibueze Obuabo, applicants must be single and must be a Nigerian citizen by birth, even as they must be medically, physically, and psychologically fit in line with the Nigerian Army standard. The statement noted that applicants must not be less than 18 years and not more than 22 years for non-tradesmen and women, while tradesmen and women must not be more than 26 years as of 30 June 2024. It also said the selected candidates will participate in the stage recruitment screening exercise scheduled to hold from 20th June to 3rd July 2024. While emphasizing that the Nigerian Army is free, the statement highlighted several benefits of joining the Nigerian Army, such as enhanced pay and allowances, opportunity to further one's education, enhanced welfare and insurance services, free housing and medical care, pension and gratuity, among others. More information on eligibility and requirements can be obtained from Nigerian Army recruitment website at www.recruitment.army.mil.ng. In the quest to reduce the burden of high cost of living on residents of Nibo community, Nibo Town Union has set fixed prices for farm labors, medicine, and carpentry work. The prices were declared officially at a town hall meeting held at the Community Civic Center at Ekeni-Ibo in Awka South local government area. Those in attendance at the meeting were men, women, and youths of the community, as well as non-indigenous farmers, masons, and laborers. Our correspondent, Queen Anibogo, now reports.
According to Nibo Town Union, clearing of a farmland is now 3,500 naira per day with one course meal. Without a meal is 4,500 naira, while cultivating or making of mounds or ridges is now 5,500 naira per day with one course meal and 7,000 naira per day without a meal. The resolution at the meeting hinted that for medicine per day is now 7,000 naira only. Serving of medicine per day is 4,000 naira. Carpentry work per day 7,000 naira only, and cutting of a head of palm fruit is now 250 naira. Addressing the gathering, the President General of the town, Professor Tony Nwokoye, appealed to residents of the community to kindly comply with the decisions, saying that Nibo Union will deploy vigilante service alongside Nibo Women Committee of Obobodobo every morning to monitor implementations of the decisions. The PG warned that any laborer who refuses to comply with the decisions should not be seen at Ekeni-Ibo Market or the Central Laborers Park, and for Nibo indigents who default will face the wrath of Nibo Town Union. Reacting to some of the laborers who said they hike prices of labor because of high cost of living in Nigeria, the PG told them that the situation is affecting everyone and asked them to channel their cry of hardship to governments.
Every Nibo person should start farming. Any space you see in Nibo, we don't cultivate Nibo, we can't cultivate it. Any empty land in Nibo, Nibo will engage people and cultivate it.
In his remarks, the traditional prime minister of the community, Chief Robbins Obiezana, pointed out that Nibo is a community that has customs and traditions, rules and regulations, just like every other community, noting that the town hall meeting is for them to have a dialogue so they can all live in harmony. He added that they are not chasing away non-indigents, but want them to live with them in mutual respect for one another. The woman leader, Obobodobo, Mrs. Rose Okoye, and that of Umenechi Village, Nibo, Mr. Chinyere Enekwechi, explained that the decision to have fixed prices is to reach the common man, and noted that with the new prices, it will reflect on the cost of local produce in the market, thereby bringing a reduction of commodities like gari, vegetable, among other items. Non-indigens who spoke during the meeting were Mr. Elijah Umeje and Mr. Sunday Bright, who have lived in the Igbo community for 24 and 22 years, respectively, and affirmed that the community has been good to them, emphasizing that the situation in the country is a reason for the hike in price of laborers. The meeting came to a climax when the women of the community, led by the woman leader, Obobodobo, Mrs. Okoye, made a proclamation that anyone who refuses to comply with the decisions will face the wrath of Nibo land. Meanwhile, the President General of Nibo Town Union, Professor Tony Onwokoye, has distributed to the 30 villages in Nibo the palliatives given to them by the federal government through Anambra State government. The palliatives were bags of corn and gari to be given to vulnerable members of the community to cushion the effects of rising cost of living across the country. Queen Anibogo reporting for ABS News.
And from Nibo, we move to the national scene now, where the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has announced the sales of e-tax, which will permit entry into the 24 federal airports in Nigeria. The FAN made this announcement yesterday. Newsmen gathered that the FEC meetings resulted in the approval of 21 policies and projects aimed at boosting the economy, facilitating investment, and promoting the ease of doing business in the country. Among the policies FEC approved is a mandate that all users of federal airports across the country must pay tolls at the gates before gaining access with no exceptions. According to FAN public announcement, the sale of e-tax aligns with the presidential directive approved in the latest Federal Executive Council meeting, which mandates that all users of federal airports across the country must pay tolls at the gates. This is coming amidst hardship occasioned by the removal of subsidies and floating of the naira. This hardship forced the Nigerian Labour Congress to request an increase in the minimum wage, a request that is currently unsettling the government. FAN, in his statement, noted that motorists without e-tax will have the option to pay cash at the access gates before entry at the airport, meaning defaulting drivers will be shut out. On the foreign scene, thunderstorms have killed at least 4 people and knocked out power to nearly 1 million homes and businesses in southeast Texas. 2 deaths came from fallen trees and 1 from a crane blown over. The storm has now moved on to neighboring Louisiana with flood warnings in place for the Gulf Coast. In Houston, traffic lights were out, office windows blown through, and glass strewn across the city's streets. Residents were warned to stay inside by the mayor, speaking yesterday evening. Flash flood and severe thunderstorm warnings were issued for multiple counties heading into the evening, according to Houston's National Weather Service office. The city was working through a backlog of emergency calls, most of them about gas leaks and downed wires. The city's fire chief said nearly 1 million customers were without power in Texas as of late yesterday, according to utility tracker PowerOutage.us. The vast majority of outages are in Harris County, which contains Houston and is home to more than 4.7 million people. In Louisiana, there are 215,000 households without power. More than 30 million people are at risk of severe weather as of yesterday across parts of the Gulf Coast. Then in sports, the Women's World Cup will take place in South America for the first time after Brazil was chosen to host the 2027 edition at a FIFA Congress yesterday, marked by debate about the war in Gaza. After the success of Australia and New Zealand last year, FIFA members picked Brazil over a European bid in a bid to push to expand women's football to new continents. Delegates meeting in Bangkok voted 119 votes to 78 to send the 10th Women's World Cup to the land of Samba football, beating a joint bid from Belgium, the Netherlands, and Germany. The decision sparked celebrations from the Brazilian bid team. Brazilian Football Confederation President Arnaldo Rodrigues hailed it as a victory for Latin America for Latin American football and for women's football in Latin America. Brazil, home of women's football great Marta, scored higher than its European rival in FIFA's evaluation report. FIFA inspectors had noted the tremendous impact on women's football in the region that South America hosting the Women's World Cup could have. Unlike their male counterparts who have won 5 World Cups, Brazil's women have never lifted the trophy and made a group stage exit in 2023. Last year's tournament set records, including earning $570 million in commercial revenue. On the pitch, it defied fears that increasing the size from 24 to 32 teams would dilute the spectacle, with over 1.4 million fans streaming through the tonsils to witness a host of shocks. And that's the news this morning. Thanks for joining us. But remember, you can follow news and programs from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television, Oka. On Instagram, we are at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Before we go, we told you that Anambra State government has monitored the ongoing WAEC examination as justice stakeholders brainstorms on effective utilization of plea bargaining. We also told you that the federal government has introduced tales of a mandatory e-tax at airports as thunderstorms has killed 4 in Houston, Texas. To end the news, remember that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of our core Igbo values. Let's continue to give him maximum support for the task ahead. I am David Okwasele. The weekend show continues right after now. Stay with us.